Get our full on acceleration here. Ooh, yeah, it's kind of jumpy here in the sport mode. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a 2022 Volkswagen Tiguan. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this Tiguan that they just recently traded in. If you're interested, I'm going to go link to their inventory in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get right into the video. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is good for 184 horsepower and then 221 pound-feet of torque, and this one is all-wheel drive. Now let's go to the front end of the Tiguan. So first off, you guys will notice that this one is, well, silver, which makes it so the body lines on the hood are very, very prominent. And then coming down below, you guys can see here with the LED headlamps, and then notice the daytime running light. But notice here how you've got like this chrome trim that all connects there at the top portion. I guess it kind of has a unibrow, right? You got the Volkswagen logo there in the center. We have our R logo off to the side. You can kind of barely see it. And then all the trim down here is blacked out. We've got the parking sensors there on the front end. And you guys will notice a theme with this, that you have a lot of blacked out trim, and well, there's the front end. Now coming around the side here, you've got two 35mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And it's probably hard to see the wheels on camera because, well, the wheels are also all blacked out, kind of going with the theme of this particular Tiguan. Now you notice here with the fender flare, how that's kind of just like a regular plastic fender flare. And then you got another R logo here, blacked out mirror caps, another piece of blacked out trim here on the side. And if we take a few steps back, you guys can see the full side profile here on the Tiguan. And other than that, well, also, you got the rails there at the top of the roof. So we have our key fob here, got a little Volkswagen logo there on the back. We have our lock function, remote start opening for the hatch, and then the unlock function. So if we hold that down, that'll automatically pop open the hatch for us. And look at that, this one's got some WeatherTech floor mats. That's pretty cool. Anyways, underneath this whole monstrosity of a thing, we pick this up. You guys can see a spare tire, and then the cargo cover is all underneath that section. And we have like our roadside assistance kit. And then you guys probably saw this latched on the other side too. This is to throw down the seat so that you can have even more storage space here in the back. But it's actually pretty spacious overall to start off with. And then when you're done, just press that button right there. And bada bing, bada boom. Now finishing things off with the rest of the rear. You can see the signature taillights here off to the side. Notice the 4Motion badge. Tiguan there in the center, and then SE on the other side. And then down below, you guys can see here how it is not an exhaust tip or exhaust tip covering. It's just fake for style, but you got parking sensors down there as well. And yeah, that is all for the rear. Now here's the door panel in the rear. You guys can see here with all of the padding and stitching. Definitely an interesting design, that is for sure. And well, here's the seat in the rear. You guys can see again. Pretty interesting with the overall design. Popping in, it's really easy to get in. You pretty much just slide right across. There's your legroom. There's the headroom. Got a little storage pocket right here. Got some vents down below, and then you guys can see the USB with the charging port. And then we have our cup holder armrest set up, and let's head to the front. Now here's our front door panel. You guys can see again with the trim here, looks fantastic. And there's a quick look at the mirror. And then again, same thing as the door panel on the rear. And then here's all of our window controls, mirror adjustments, all the normal stuff. And then you can see here with the front seats, again, similar design. Definitely pretty minimalist in terms of the design. And then notice there with the adjustments, another R logo. Pretty normal pedal layout down below. Got our light control there off to the side. And let's pop in. So here is our steering wheel with the Tiguan. You guys can see pretty nice material use actually. Again, another R logo. Perforated here on the sides so you can get a slightly better grip. And then also we've got our like voice command control area, and we'll go over the rest of the controls a little bit later. We do have adaptive cruise control with this, which is pretty cool. And we have our turn signal stock, windshield wiper stock, and yeah, I actually really like the look of the steering wheel. So we have this cool full digital gauge cluster. Now that button over on the right side of the steering wheel that you guys saw me show earlier basically just lets you scroll through different menus here with the center stack itself. But yeah, overall, the fact that yeah, you've got this like full digital gauge cluster is pretty cool. It's customizable, and yeah, I'm all about it. We do have some different drive modes. Those just pop up like right here. We'll go over them a little bit more later, but I just want to show you guys how they pop up there in the center. So here's the center infotainment system. First off, we pop it into reverse. You guys can see we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, you guys can see we've got these buttons here on the side. They're kind of like shortcut buttons. Now my favorite part is the little flip function. Look at that. I know, it's just kind of, I know it might be gimmicky to some of you, but I think that it's pretty cool overall. And responsive at the screen is great. Now we've got a bunch of different drive modes. So there's our snow mode, and then we'll go over this section in a minute. But past that, we have an actual off-road mode, and then we have an off-road custom. So you have an auto, then you have a custom, which is pretty interesting. Now this mode, you have a button you can press to go from normal to sport to custom to eco. So yeah, lots of different drive modes, but it's kind of weird how you get to all of them, and I'll show you in a minute. Down below, we have our climate control system. So we have a dual zone climate system, heated seats for the front, and then you guys can see down below with our wireless phone charger and then the USBs. We have the shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission, parking brake right here, bunch of blank switches actually, auto stop start, parking sensor, and then for the drive mode, so like most of the drive modes you just switch like that, but on this one, this is where you press the button. Sorry about the camera focusing on that, but you just press the button to go through the different drive modes. It's kind of interesting. A couple cup holders right here, and then you can see the rest of the center console area, and then we have our glove box, pretty normal setup right there, and then you can see the trim on the dash, and then finishing things up here at the very top, we do have a full panoramic sunroof. Definitely a nice thing to have. Control for it is just right there in the center, and then you guys can see the nice little mirror right there. So here's our window sticker, and before I go over the window sticker, quick disclaimer, this is a used vehicle, so this is going to be selling for whatever it is worth on the used market. This is not current pricing on this one. Anyways, you guys can see 21 around town, 28 in the highway for the fuel economy. R-Line Black is what they call it, and most everything looks like it's standard equipment here, which is pretty cool, that is for sure. And then look at the whole maintenance and warranty information. So limited warranty, 4-year, 50,000 mile, which is well, a lot of luxury cars do, but it's interesting that Volkswagen has the same warranty. Base price, there's a few options added to this particular one. And then here's the total original MSRP, $36,255. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors, and throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Okay, so first off, sorry if the air conditioning sound is slightly loud. I don't have it pointed towards the GoPro, so it shouldn't be too bad. But also, it is so hot, and well, I want to survive, so I'm gonna have the air conditioning on. Anyways, I haven't driven a Volkswagen in quite some time. It seems like Volkswagen's been struggling with building cars or something, because like all the local Volkswagen dealers just have less inventory than, like, nobody has inventory right now, but the Volkswagen dealers especially have like really no inventory. So yeah, I gotta just do used ones at this point. So anyways, setting off here, felt pretty punchy initially off the line. This definitely has like a kind of like a lightweight, nimble SUV type feel to it. I'm actually driving this back to back with a Grand Cherokee L, and you can definitely tell a difference in the size with the SUVs. Obviously they're in two different categories, but yeah, I like how this handles. Actually, it feels kind of sporty, dare I say, for an SUV. Let's actually pop it into the sport mode. Speaking of sport, come on, there we go. I just didn't press the button hard enough, I guess. Other stuff, seat comfort's pretty good. The seats are not necessarily like the softest from a material standpoint, but they, get the job done. Oh wow, that's a lot of turbo lag. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's turbocharged. It has that like nothing and then boom feel to it. That is for sure from an acceleration perspective. That turn signal is very loud. Huh. Interesting. We get our full-on acceleration here. Ooh, yeah, it's kind of jumpy here in the sport mode. Yeah, it's got good low-end torque, but then it just dies off. And again, the power figures suggest that, right? Less than 200 horsepower. So I wouldn't call it quick, but it gets the job done. It gets the job done, right? So yeah, I guess we'll kind of get into setting things up here with this Tiguan from a driving perspective. And I've actually driven Tiguans in the past, so I'm pretty familiar with the SUV. So I guess, or just the Tiguan overall. So I think that it looks pretty good on the outside. I feel like Volkswagen's styling is pretty what's the word for it? Controversial, I guess, because like people either really like the look of Volkswagens or they don't. I think they're good looking cars though. Interior is actually pretty nice. The steering wheel is definitely the highlight of this interior because this has a very nice looking and feeling steering wheel. A lot of the other controls definitely are a little bit more on the economy side of things, but overall it's a pretty solid interior. And then from a driving perspective, it's pretty lightweight, nimble feeling, definitely not quick. It's got like an initial zippy feel. It's kind of like a Prius almost, where like it feels like zippy off the line and then it just dies. That's kind of how this feels from an acceleration perspective. So yeah, that's the new Tiguan. Let me know what you guys think about this. But I guess my overall thing, and the steering wheel has these weird bumps right there. That's kind of weird. The overall thing for me on this is the steering wheel is definitely the highlight. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Tiguan. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Schmiller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with the Tiguan. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.